Greetings, wise one. This is Melissa of 8th House Wisdom, astrologer, psychotherapist, author, feminine energy, and stellar planning expert. I am here with a video for Samhain or Halloween, as well as talking about the first quarter moon in Aquarius, which is the midpoint in between eclipse season and Mars and Jupiter retrogrades. If you are interested in learning more about the current astro weather going on as we transition from October to November, stay tuned for the rest of this video. So, we are here at one of probably my favorite holiday of the year. As an 8th house energy person, Samhain or Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, or All Saints or All Hallows Eve is one of my favorite times of the year. It's when my psychic, spidey, intuitive senses really jump up and where I feel very drawn to do additional work at my ancestor altar and in working to communicate with my crossed over loved ones to see what work I am still here to do to further the goals and purposes of my bloodline and with any of my other energetic connections. And Scorpio season is definitely the time to focus on that, because another thing that 8th house energy rules is inheritances. So, here we are. The veil is thinning. Between October 31st and November 1st, this is when, according to following traditions of seasons in the Northern Hemisphere, we celebrate the ability to connect with others, as well as what the meaning of Samhain is in Celtic and Gaelic languages, which is the end of summer. This is truly, truly the end of summer. We had our summer feasts, and now we've had our fall harvests, and we are really turning the corner to the last moments of the year. This is also a midway point between the fall equinox or the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. This is what a cross quarter holiday is. And so I'm really excited about all of that energy, because it is framing up what we have here for our first quarter moon in Aquarius, which is also the midpoint between the new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio and the upcoming full moon total lunar eclipse that will be happening on U.S. midterm election day, no less. So we are in a powerful energetic tunnel. In addition to all that we have going on with lunations, we also have, and of course Samhain or Halloween, we also have two major retrograde energies that we're working with. On October 28th, Jupiter, which is currently in retrograde phase, moved from 0 degrees Aries to the anaretic or critical degree of 29 degrees Pisces. And it'll be chilling there through November 23rd, I believe, to be exact. And that is going to give us a harmonizing energy, because Scorpio and Pisces are both water signs, and so they trine, and that means they create a triangular aspect that harmonizes energy. So even though the planet of growth and expansion is moving backwards in the sky, it will be harmonizing with the sun in Scorpio, which is how we shine. So actually, and the sun being in the sign of shadow where we're doing inner work, and the Jupiter retrograde highlighting more inner work and inward expansion, we'll be able to pick up energy that we didn't experience, well, we haven't experienced since last year, to really move through the spiritual elements of water. And then, to top it off, Mars, the traditional ruler of Scorpio, the planet of energy and drive, has stationed retrograde, on October 30th, the day before Halloween, and it is kicking off a really potent time to do shadow work, because we still have an internal retrograde focus, as well as strong spiritual and water energy to help us make sense of the symbolic and the communication that we have between energies that are no longer in physical form. Again, when we think about all of this energy and how to apply all that's going on in the skies to the lunar wisdom formula, under normal circumstances, first quarter moon lunar wisdom is to really think about what the intention that you set for the new moon was, and to take stronger, more bona fide and or certain action around that, because we have come out of the shadows and things should be coalescing and kind of crystallizing for you. But because we are in an eclipse cycle, I recommend being more open to reception right now, as opposed to jumping up and taking action unless you feel truly compelled. The action I think that most of us should be raising our hand to sign up to do is to observe and to receive right now, because we are in a water phase, or of which is spiritual. We're in a feminine energy phase or yin energy phase where we're taking things in. And so this will set us up for a positive energy yang phase when we move into, or masculine energy phase when we move into Sagittarius. And this is work. A lot of people think that receiving and being open and taking in is not work in progress, but it takes a lot of energy to do this. It takes a lot of learning how to stabilize yourself, how to slow your engines. And when we do this, we can take action from a greater, more integrated place. So this first quarter moon also happens to fall in the humanitarian sign of Aquarius. It's drilling in on more fixed and authority energy. It's focusing on community, humanity, and innovation. Aquarius energy is the maverick archetype. And so it's bringing to this lunar cycle the idea that we can make a breakthrough by learning how to embrace the shadow more and more in our daily lives in more of a communal way. Again, as I remind you to make observations, we are still looking back to 8 years ago on October 25th, 2014, when we had the coordinating new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio, where we may see things being tied up there. We also want to look back to the dates of April 30th and May 16th of 2022, where the coordinating Taurus and Scorpio lunar and solar eclipses happened, because that's going to help orient us, and that will help us learn and utilize how to feel into any intentions or any things that are coming up, to map out next steps as more clarity is coming to you, and giving you the ability to really notice what you're thinking through moving your body. Certainty is going to come from integrating your thoughts and your body sensations right now. Eclipse energy and eclipse lunar cycles are on steroids, so we're going to have to work a little harder to push and to create space for us to take in the information and downloads that may be coming. They can be plentiful, they can be potent, and they may be overwhelming if you're not setting a place at the table. Again, this entire lunar cycle for November is marked by eclipses, starting with the October 25th new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio. We are currently at the first quarter moon in Aquarius, where it's an ideal time to commit to whatever is showing up. November 8th, we will have the full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus. It is when we need to release and look for results. It represents the deciding moment and the releasing moment, and we are prepping for release. And then November 16th is our last quarter moon in Leo, where we're going to need to reconsider and balance what we know in light of all that we have taken in. Again, this is a powerful month to do work with the lunar wisdom formula. But outside of doing ritual, I really recommend tuning in so we can become familiar with our hidden self, our desires and darker impulses. Consider it a ritual. Instead of having outward rituals where we're calling in more things around us, now is really the time that we can make the greatest progress, calling forth that which is within us to the greatest awareness. In doing that, we'll be able to move forward more strategically and, again, with more clarity. In taking a look at the Moonology manifestation card for the Aquarius first quarter moon, it tells us to trust the universe, reminding us that, especially during Scorpio season, it is time to release your grip on a situation, and this is good prep for the upcoming full moon. It's good to have passion, but too much can become manic, and if you are feeling too much intensity around a dream or an intention because we're scared that it won't come true, then now is the time to knock off with that energy and just pull back. Remind yourself to state intentions to the universe and then detach. We really do have to trust the universe and see what comes up. The tighter our grip, the more likely we are to lose out This is definitely important if you've had issues with sex or money. Scorpio 8th house ruled areas. So it is highly recommended that you release, push away from things that are making you feel stuck. Check for your rigidity. Loosen up your words, your thinking, and your actions. Focus on your third eye. Use your power to positively manifest the future that you are looking to see versus calling forth and reinvesting and re-envisioning the very thing you're most scared of happening. That's what's going to help us to move ahead as we approach the upcoming total lunar eclipse. And just a little bit more to focus on related to Mars retrograde in Gemini and Jupiter retrograde in Pisces. Again, remember for Jupiter retrograde that yes, it will continue to be retrograding until November 23rd. And you'll be feeling an energetic shift because the difference between Aries' first fiery active energy is completely contrasting Pisces' dreamy, floaty, watery, psychic energy. So during this time of intense shadow focus during Scorpio season, it can be the restoration of some tranquility and kind of feel like a bit of a mental break. It can also feel very otherworldly, as you may kind of feel like you've been transported into a fun house where things are moving slowly. Just go along for the ride and do your best to feel your way through some of the interpretations and downloads that you get from that Jupiter Pisces energy. As for Mars retrograde in Gemini, note that there will be some serious feelings of missing out over the next 2.5 months. Mars does not go retrograde every year. It goes retrograde every 18 months, the same way that Venus does as well. And so we started the pre-shadow of this September 4th. And we've been slowly preparing for this pretty much, like I said, once every 18 months to 2-year retrograde. It will end on January the 12th. But what's important for you to know is that you're going to have some really great ideas, but your energy will feel a little shaky and you'll need to reconsider ways to make decisions. My tips for navigating the Mars retrograde are: give yourself a bit more time to make decisions. When you become tense and really kind of stressed out energetically, talk to someone. Do your best to be friendly and not hostile to other people, because community can help us. And last but not least, get your body moving to get yourself into decision-making mode. That's really going to help us, especially since Mars has now popped into a dual sign. Gemini can become very restless when it can become very restless when it feels stopped or stalled out in some way. So moving your body can help you move ahead with making decisions that will support and honor you. And last but not least, just some reminders and points for my favorite holiday, Samhain. This amazing cross-quarter holiday is one of the best times to connect with passed over loved ones. I have a lot more information about this on my blog if you want to go deeper. But I want to remind you that the significance and the themes of Halloween or Samhain are ancestors, death, rebirth, introspection, and lifting the veil. Tonight and tomorrow are great times to do sex magic, either solo sex magic or with a partner. It is a great time to release. It is a great time to ask for spiritual communication with past over loved ones. Pull out your black crystals so that you have proper protection to ground any unwanted energies. Work with beautiful symbols of fall like apples, acorns, oak trees, pumpkins, herbs, leaves, and take actions like setting up table place for someone who is deceased. Like I talked about at the top of the video, doing more work at your ancestor altar if you have one. Spend time in nature with trees. They are ancient and wise and have the ability to help us filter out unnecessary energy to connect with more psychically sensitive areas and do things that honor your family or bloodline traditions. And I'm talking both spirit family, energetic family, and bloodline family. Again, this cross-quarter holiday is about having a feast. So if you feel like feasting, it's definitely a positive time to do that. This will all help us in preparation for the big release that we will have as the moon goes into total eclipse, which is what we call a blood moon in Taurus. And that's 1 week out as of November 1st. I am so happy to have had a chance to dig into some of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to metaphysics, astrology, and just understanding the wheel of the year and timing and seasons in general. All of these things help to create the structure for stellar planning, because you really do need to know where you're at in time and space. If you want to be able to apply aspects of what we have talked about in this video in your own life, then head over to my website so you can get a free copy of your birth chart, and you can know what areas are ruled by Scorpio and Taurus, and can apply the information here with much greater accuracy. And as always, when it comes to the moon, because I am totally a lunar lover, I have two options that are very helpful for anyone wanting to get started with the most accessible and transformative process for time management and scheduling possible. Links for both of these programs are below. First up is the DIY Lunar Wisdom Formula. It goes very in-depth for how to work across new moons, first full and last quarter moons, and how to use these to plan and align your life. It comes with all the dates for 2022 and our 2023 update for information is in the works and will be provided to anyone who makes a purchase of that book, or if you've purchased previously. And that is DIY. If you want a higher touch, join Lunate the Wisdom Circle, where we curate lots of information for each new and full moon to help you align and be able to make the best use of the energy for the upcoming 2 weeks and beyond. It is my absolute pleasure, as always, to bring you information that can help you apply the Lunar Wisdom Formula, stellar planning, and to really navigate and work with the energy of the stars so that you can be in flow. Because life does come with an instruction manual, it's written in the stars. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And I will be back with my next video for the full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus. Until then, wise ones, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Sending you lots of light and love. Take care.